And how often do you have reports or stories about people probably dying from rip currents? Is that an occurrence that happens often?
Every summer you get a couple of reports. I think it happens a lot more than what's actually reported, because when you're just injured, when you get out of it fine, it's not like it's going to necessarily make the papers. But living down in Saco, the community Saco, for a number of years, I know through Old Orchard Beach, there's a lot of people swimming, warm summer days, and a lot of exposure to these currents. And people just need to be aware of that there are rip tides. If you're trying to find out what they look like, how to identify them, you'll see a little bit of colored bubbling water, maybe discolored sand that's moving out in a channel away from the ocean. Take a look when you go to the beach and look around, and make sure when your kids, especially young people, are in the water, just take a look. That'll help you out.
And during the summer months, are there any other weather-related type problems that people need to be aware of?
We have somebody here who does a lot of research and work with lightning and severe thunderstorms. Lightning is a problem in Maine in the summer because there are a lot of people up here vacationing. We do not have that many thunderstorms in Maine in the summer. It's not the thunderstorm capital of the United States. But we have a lot of people up here, a lot of exposure. And what tends to happen is people will get out of the way of a thunderstorm. They'll run inside. But before a thunderstorm gets you to your area, or shortly after it leaves, it may clear out. There's still a threat for lightning. Lightning can travel many miles and hit you. So it's being vulnerable, being out there just before and after it. So people in community centers, community programs who have kids playing out in the summer, a lot of exposure in the summer, need to be aware of that and bring people indoors when they hear thunder. We also have a big severe weather program. We had a very big tornado last year as well. Some of the guys here worked that, and it was a pretty incredible event. The longest track tornado ever in New England occurred last year. So we have to be mindful for severe thunderstorms as well as tornadoes, even in northern New England. In the summertime, when we think we have a severe thunderstorm, we'll look at our radars and we'll analyze the data, both the Doppler data, which is our radar has the ability in completely clear air to see wind motion. It can see it because of the motion of bugs, insects, anything, clouds, water droplets. And when we think we have a severe thunderstorm, we can create a warning by moving this mouse around and creating text. And it's a fairly automated process once we decipher what storm is severe. And it creates a text product from this graphic over here of the warning. And we can send that, and that would go out to No Weather Radio. It would alarm, and hopefully most of the schools out there in Maine today have No Weather Radio in them. It goes on the Weather Channel, local channels. The screen will go right at the bottom, and it'll go on our website. So technology really does drive a lot of the way we communicate this information to the public.
Now, you've developed a program called the Coastal Flood Nomogram for emergency managers to utilize for hazard mitigation and warning purposes. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, they're for forecasters and for anybody who can use them. It's available at gomoose.org. It's on their website. That nomogram was built to take into account the interaction of high astronomical tides and waves. It's not one or the other that's causing the problems. It's the combination of the two, the combination of large battering waves reaching the coast simultaneously when you get very high water levels. When that happens, you get a lot of beach erosion, splashover. Splashover is when waves are striking people's properties and causing a lot of damage, and you get the coastal inundation, the flooding of water. The nomogram graphically depicts an animation that shows an hour-by-hour forecast of the combination of water level, height, and waves. So it's trying to give people a feel for what type of damage may occur with the combination of those two forces. That's an example of the Coastal Flood Nomogram, where that bouncing ball is an hourly forecast of water level and wave heights. And as the wave heights and water level increase, the bouncing ball will move to the upper right part of the nomogram. And as that happens, it shows what type of damage you may expect. You may expect splashover, moderate beach erosion, moderate coastal flooding, maybe severe coastal flooding. And it's part of the nomogram that's run by GOMOS that helps emergency managers and anybody, forecasters, citizens, help them see what the forecast is for the coastal communities.
In this month of June, there was a report on WCSH6 about a rogue wave. Can you talk a little bit about that story?
There was a boat that was capsized recently. We do get rogue waves every once in a while. What is a rogue wave? Rogue wave is any wave that's twice the size of the largest nearby wave, at least twice the size. It's an anomalously strong, tall, powerful wave. We have many different types of waves over the ocean at any given time, from the just little capillary wave with a little sea breeze to the large ocean waves. Sometimes they can combine when they reach shoaling areas. Sometimes you can get what we had in Booth Bay Harbor last year, where it's like a very large wave going into Booth Bay Harbor, which flooded out docks and whatnot, that was produced by a gust front. So you can get a lot of weird things happening out there in the coastal waters.
Shifting focus to the winter months, what is this place like in terms of when you get a snowstorm? Do you get inundated with phone calls about people? Is it going to snow?
Yeah, the phones light up.
Yeah.
Phones light up, and in the early morning hours, it's from school districts, and people wanting to cancel school or people wanting to get another day in there.
Right.
Emergency managers, we do a lot of telephone conversations, conference calls with them. Winter weather is really our bread and butter. We really focus and get really involved with that. Last couple of years have been big years. A lot of winter storm warnings have gone out of here. By and by, most of the state of Maine is pretty prepared for the average size snowstorm. They react pretty well. The larger snowstorms, the ice storms, that's a little different. We had a big ice storm last year, and when people are without power for a week, it gets old really fast. It's one thing to lose your power in the middle of a hurricane when it's 80 degrees all day and you have an 8-hour night, but when you get 16-hour nights here in the winter and it's extremely cold and your pipes are freezing, ice storms are a big thing for us as well.
During the storm, does this place run nonstop in terms of trying to track the storm and get data for people, or what are the hours like during
it gets surprisingly busy. We're used to it. We don't hear the bells and whistles and alarms and all that. We become immune to it. But if you were to sit here during a winter storm, you would see a lot of movement, a lot of people. They know what they're doing. We've had a lot of training. We have pretty well-seasoned staff here. So people are good at what they do, but it can get pretty busy, and a lot of things are happening.
If somebody watching this program wants to find out more information about the National Weather Service and this organization, what can they do in terms of a phone call or an email or a website?
I would probably go to the best way is go type weather.gov and click on Maine, and our webpage will show up.
Okay.
And that's the best way to find out more about us. There's a lot of information about our office in there. We do organize tours, so we do that. We also do open houses. That open house, our next open house, will be published on the homepage. So look for it, and we hope to have people down.
Thanks for watching this special on-location edition of Youth in Politics at the National Weather Service in Gray, Maine. I'm Justin Schnedt, reminding you to become aware with issues of the day, get involved in your community, and voice your opinion. If you'd like more information on this program, visit our website at www.ynetvlive.com. If you'd like more information on my career path, visit my website at www.justinschnedt.com. Remember, if it's Sunday, it's Youth in Politics. See you right back here next week.